are joined by Dr. Rama Jarrar, president and co-founder of Mass Analytics, a company specializing in measuring marketing effectiveness. Thank you so much for joining us today and for making the time.
The pleasure is mine.
So since we are in this very important conference where we talk about the importance of digitalization, specifically in your field, for instance, which is optimization sales, what can you tell us about how technology and digitalization has changed the way we do business?
So I think it's a 360-degree transformation. So we know that now brands have a wide spectrum of media channels that they can invest in. Obviously, we still have the traditional channels, the offline channels, that also still play a big part in the media landscape. And the idea is to juggle between these two types of channels and make sure that we combine them together in order to create synergy for the brand and boost sales and the brand growth.
That sounds like something that we've seen with every single new technological advancement, but I feel like a lot of us right now are feeling the AI hype.
Okay.
A lot of people are getting on the train of being so excited about artificial intelligence and how it can be implemented in almost every sector.
Okay.
So what can you tell us about how this is affecting media marketing and how it is contributing to advancing sales and optimizing ROI?
So I would like to talk about how AI is being used in marketing measurement. So one of the fields where we would use a lot of AI in is basically the data collection part, where we try to how data is collected from the different platforms, the digital platforms and the offline platforms, put that data together, filter it, and put it in a format that could be potentially used by the models. The second part where we can really see AI transforming the way we do measurement in media is actually feature engineering. So what I mean by feature engineering, we know that there is a difference between when you advertise and how your customers have reacted to your advertising. So there's things like carryover effect, saturation, wear out, cut through, synergy. So all these effects should be taken into consideration by your models. And that's where your AI techniques could navigate the data you have and create these features on the go, learning from the past data. So this is where I also see AI intervening in the field of measurement. And perhaps the third part is that once you have your raw data, and now you have your features, you are in front of thousands of variables. And now from these thousands of variables, you can create millions of combinations. So the question we ask oneself is that what is the best combination that led to a growth or led to a sale? So that's where you would use your AI, for example, genetic algorithm powered by random forest, in order to maximize that search space and take out from those millions of combinations the best one that explains your sales, that progress your media and can help you plan your media in the future.
So it's almost as a tool that extrapolates some of the best scenarios possible based on the data that you feed it, and the goal is to give you a fail-proof almost method toward growth?
Yes, absolutely, because what we have today, so you have media, marketing, okay? So marketing, pricing, product changes, distribution, etc. You have your media, all the activation we know through TikTok, Meta, etc., etc. And you have, of course, the offline media channels. What you get from these guys is impressions, clicks, GRPs, right? But and on the other hand, you have a KPI that you want to measure these against, like for example your sales, or the number of subscribers to your platform, or the number of accounts opened, or the number of subscriptions for a telecom operator. And this methodology will allow you to link those impressions and clicks and GRPs to what's happening in terms of your sales, so you understand what is the real return on investment. So if I invest $1 million on TikTok, for example, how much return do I get? If I invest $20 million on television, on a specific programs, how much does it bring me back? If I have an additional budget, where should I place my budget? Should I split it over all the channels, or should I top up some of them because the saturation of some of them has not been reached yet, where the saturation for others has already been reached? So it's really understanding the data that is being collected through the different platforms, compare it or analyze it with sales, and use those advanced, sophisticated methods in order to understand how these marketing activations have impacted your sales. Once you understand that, then obviously, as you mentioned to your point, you can run prediction or forecasting or simulation scenario. What happens if I increase my television budget by 10%? What happens if I reduce my TikTok budget by 20%? Will I gain more sales or will I lose sales? So this type of proof will allow you to run these simulations that are very important for marketeers to support their decision making. So the idea is, how can we leverage the tons of data that is being created in order to create a meaningful model that could be implemented by the company in order to improve future planning and investments.
So it always really does help marketeers make better informed decisions and look at almost all possibilities available.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you would look at the past, the last 3 years of what you have done, analyze this, learn the lessons from the past, and suggest ideas for the future in order to plan better your media and marketing activities.
Have you seen the technology related to this process evolve throughout your career? Like, how did it start? Where is it at now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the main reasons for which these technology has progressed is because the data we have today is completely different from the data we used to have. So when I started in the business 20 years ago, all what we had in terms of sales, for example, is just quarterly sales. Today you can have daily sales and sometimes you can have hourly sales. So you have an abundance of data that you can analyze. When you look at the media landscape and how media was tracked in the past and the type of tracking that we have now for the media is completely changed. So what we do is that the technology had to adapt and to develop with the granularity of the data that is being created and also with the business questions that are being asked by marketeers. Back in the days, marketers were only interested in knowing what is the best channel that works for me. Today, the questions we have at Mass Analytics is that what is the best creative that works for me? What is the best format? What is the best target audience that I should have in a specific channel to activate? What is the amount of synergy that I'm having between me increasing my distribution and running, for example, a brand campaign? Is there any synergy between brand campaigns and promo campaigns? When should I run my promo? Before a campaign or post a campaign? So the questions become more and more granular, data became more and more abundant, and that means that the technology had to evolve in order to cover and provide answers to all this granularity.
Yeah, I mean, it almost as if the diversification of media itself has led to, and its accessibility is
Absolutely.
has led to more and more, like you said, granular information that should be considered by marketeers,
Absolutely.
salesmen, and
Absolutely. And talking about AI, because now everybody they think that AI is the answer. Okay, so you get clients saying, okay, can't AI do this? Okay, or how come we cannot get to this type of granularity? And that's where I want to set things right here, to be honest, because I know that everyone needs or wants to hear a bit of AI in any conversation. I'm a bit skeptical in the sense that I do believe that AI has a large part to play in many areas in what you do, media and marketing and measurement, but there are areas that still need to be done by humans. So that's why it's super important that we understand what areas AI can help us with and can automate processes, make us gain in efficiency and in productivity, and what are the areas where we still need that important human intervention to make things work the way it should. Because at the end of the day, when we operate in media and measurement, we are talking to humans. Our customers and consumers are human, and human is very sophisticated, very complex. So there's always an art and science in what you do. So part of the science could be handled by AI, but the part of the art should be still being handled by humans, I think.
You mentioned earlier off camera how marketing itself and sales itself is almost like a very human
Absolutely.
sort of craft, right? And so AI does help supplement the information or the market.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't really fully substitute.
Yes, doesn't fully substitute. I think at some point, yes, but definitely not in the near future. There's a lot of work to be done in order to automate a lot of things that AI could catch from the learning it does through the previous data sets. But I think that, again, the human need to understand how the machine works and inject the ideas of the human in the machine in order for it to learn as we go.
So improve AI to be better,
Yes.
more human,
Yes.
is the essential human role.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how would you teach it? So the idea is that we need to take your brain and then explain to the machine how your brain functions, try to create algorithm that mimics that, and that's what we exactly do. For example, when we have created our genetic algorithm, we sit with our analysts to understand how they tackle their modeling and take those ideas and embed them in the genetic algorithm, so the machine starts thinking like a human. But the part where the human needs to sit with the machine to train the process, so the process can be mapped into the machine.
Yeah, no, it's such a fascinating subject, and I would love to sit here and talk about it all day. One last question to let you go for your panel. Where do you think Morocco is at right now, and how important is data protection in Monaco?
Okay. So I think media and marketing landscape in Morocco is very vibrant. You can look around you and you can see the number of brands that attend this type of event, and it's really fascinating. I think the size of the brands lend themselves naturally to this type of measurement. However, I would say that there is a lot more work to be done when it comes to making brands aware of the importance of sharing data, because you won't be able to do this sophisticated measurement and obtain your ROI and run your simulation and obtain your optimization and include your AI if you do not share the data. And what I mean by data is sales data. So it's super important that we understand if you want to gain the insight from sophisticated algorithm, you would need to have some data. Absolutely. And that input should be shared. And of course, I mean, all the companies that operate in media measurement should obey by the rules of protection of data. This is a must, and we don't mess around with this.
And with that, we're closing in. Thank you so much for the very insightful information. We hope you have a great panel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.